Saturday Social is powered by EA Sports FIFA 23 with PlayStation.
Right, we're approaching the business end of the season, Joe, so we're going to get the guests to get off the fence and give us their predictions. These are the 5 categories that we have tasked them with. Premier League champions, top 4, relegation, Champions League winners and the player of the season in the Premier League. So before we get our guests' first prediction, let's have a look at Arsenal and Man City's remaining fixtures. Arsenal are currently 5 points clear. They've played the same amount of games. City do have slightly better goal difference. And importantly, Man City don't play this weekend. That is due to the fact they're in the FA Cup. So those are the fixtures. Who is lifting that iconic trophy? Theo, who are you going for, mate?
I'm selecting Arsenal. And I think it's a blessing in disguise that they got knocked out against Sporting. I think they can focus on the Premier League. As Arteta says, it's 11 finals remaining. And I strongly back him. The team has resilience. They've just brought back Gabriel Jesus. It's a great fight for the forward positions. I'm confident now that the Gunners will bring home the Premier League title once again.
And Dougie, you agree?
I agree. I think this weekend is actually the crucial one. And I think we say this every weekend now.
Yeah, we do.
Crystal Palace, it feels like, with no Tomiyasu, potentially no Saliba, this one feels like a real, sort of potential banana skin. But if they go 8 points up into the international break, City then play Liverpool in their first game back, you might back them to get a point against. I think that could be curtains.
And I think they play them after Arsenal play. So Arsenal, if they win this weekend, win next weekend, they could go 11 points clear before Man City next play a game, couldn't they? Let's go to our second category. That's going to be about the top 4. And obviously, the top of the Premier League table after last night's result for Newcastle was extremely tight. 3 points separating Newcastle in 5th from Man United in 3rd. But of course, look at that goal difference. United, after that humiliation at Anfield, way down on +6. OK, so top 4. We can have a look at who you guys have gone for. Man City, Man United, Tottenham, Man City, Man United, Liverpool. Both of you in agreement, though, that Man United will make the top 4.
Absolutely.
Even there's only a 3-point gap.
Yeah, there's a big game coming up next time between you guys and Newcastle.
Without Casemiro.
That would be absolutely massive. But I think you'll get over the line. I think you've got enough. You'll have Eriksen coming back from injury for the run-in as well, which would be quite crucial. And I just think you've got enough quality.
Yeah, and I'm backing Spurs for top 4. And I think that's simply because Kane and Son are looking good again against Forest. Smithy, you're going to be happy with me.
Always liked you.
Yeah. I think it's been difficult after Europe, but you can fully focus now on the remaining Premier League fixtures. I think you've got a decent run-in. It's going to be some tough games in there, but I'm confident that you'll have it in you to hold off Newcastle. It's made it difficult after they beat Forest last night away. It's only 1 point in it, but I'm backing Spurs.
Interesting you've gone Tottenham, Liverpool. Neither of you gone Newcastle.
No, I think that might be with my Sunderland hat on. I'm not saying that. To be fair, they played really well last night and they've had an amazing campaign. But I just think Liverpool, so much is riding on their season now from these remaining games. I think with Jota coming back from injury, they'll have Luis Diaz coming back from injury eventually. And that forward line just looks like they've got so many options now. And actually, to be fair, in that second leg against Real Madrid, they created quite a few opportunities. I never thought they'd turn the tie around. But it feels like their form is slowly coming back. Although that defeat to Bournemouth last
that defeat to Bournemouth killed it for me.
Yeah.
I just don't know. I saw them win 7-0 against United inside the ground, and then to see them play against Bournemouth, the way Klopp played, it was awful. He lined them out the wrong way, and the 6-point gap between Newcastle and Tottenham now, I'm sorry, I can't back Liverpool. And I back Spurs simply because I think in that game week 32 fixture against Newcastle, that 6-pointer of a match, that game decides a 4th place, Champions League spot almost. That is when Spurs are going to win. That's when their world-class players are going to turn up. I have a funny feeling that's going to decide it.
Do you not think, though, the mood around Spurs is almost more desperate than at Liverpool? Just because of the Antonio Conte situation, it feels like they're going back to square one, potentially Poch coming back, pretty much wasting the last 4 years. I do really worry for Spurs, to be honest, and I just think the mood around the club is going to take it down.
It's interesting that it's so tight there that they have got to play each other, as you said. And it's the consistency is an issue. Manchester United as well. Yeah, you've got to go to Newcastle. Newcastle play Spurs, so it's. I think it will go right down to the wire, that one. So if you thought that was hard, we're going to task you with relegation now, and we see how many teams are around the relegation zone. We can have a look at it again.
Those 9
now. Yeah, those 9 teams, as we said earlier, 5 points separating 12th to 20th. So let's have a look at who you've picked for relegation. So you've both gone with Nottingham Forest. You've both gone with Southampton. The disagreement is Thogden says Leeds, Dougie says Bournemouth.
No Bournemouth.
No Bournemouth for me. No Bournemouth. I don't think they'll get relegated. I thought they've shown real character. I'm a massive fan of Gary O'Neill. He was a player for Bolton just 2 years ago. I was in the away and watching him play, and now he's a manager, and I think that's great. And against Arsenal, they showed real fight. Very unlucky to lose that 3-2. They beat Liverpool, who you've put up for top 4, so you've got to stick to your guns there. I see the decision by...
That's not linked to this.
Oh, it is. It's all linked here. You've got your favourites, I can see that. No, I think Bournemouth have got enough in them, you can see from the form. So I think Forest are more likely to go down. They just lost at home to Newcastle. A lot of boos, a lot of people wondering what's going wrong there. I think their away form is the worst in the Premier League as well.
But their home form for us is fantastic.
They just lost.
Before yesterday.
They just lost at home.
But before yesterday, they weren't beaten in 9 games.
Not good timing after they just lost to Newcastle.
And it's a 93rd minute winner, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. But that doesn't change it. Oh, it's 1-1 then. 93rd
No,
minute.
but
Take it off. Take it off.
In the build-up to that, we can talk about teams beating teams. They also, let's not forget, beat Liverpool at home.
Yeah.
Did they beat Man City or took points off Man City, certainly at home? Their home record since the turn of the year has been fantastic for us. So if we're talking about Bournemouth's home record, Forest has been equally as good.
Bournemouth at home just beat Liverpool. So you can say that about both
Forest
clubs.
are beating.
That's a great thing about
Forest are also terrible away. I think
Yeah.
they've only won once away. I think they've taken 6 points on the
Yeah,
road.
their away form's not
They
good.
have not been good. And you looked at that game last night. They are really struggling to build, maintain attacks. The forward line, I really like Johnson. We've got him in our too good to go down 11, Morgan Gibbs-White, but they're so isolated. I think they really struggle to create chances.
And you disagreed with Thogden.
Yeah, I think we're both on Forest. My big debate is between Bournemouth and Leeds to go down.
You went Leeds.
And I think Leeds have just got player to player better players than Bournemouth.
Yeah. I think Bournemouth have a good run of fixtures.
Tyler
as well.
Adams' injury as well.
I don't mind.
Yeah.
I don't mind.
Have you seen
Mark
the Leeds?
Rocker, McKennie.
You're lucky
they've got
you've
better
got-
quality.
Yeah, the international break has come at the right time for Leeds because they really needed it. The form was off. They won the first game with the manager, but ever since then it's been Tyler Adams, their best player, getting injured. The injury room now is looking... It's a massive list of players. You're going to really have to hope that after international break a few boys come back.
Yeah, but there's a lot of guys having pretty good seasons in their forward line. I think Crescencio Somerville's been really good. I think Nonto, who we've put forward, has had a really good start. Bamford started scoring goals again for the first time in about 18 months. So I'm feeling good about Leeds.
Clutching onto
Got a
straws.
lot of individual talent, haven't they? They've got a lot of individual talent. Let's go on to our next category, though, shall we? Because the Champions League, of course, saw the draw happen yesterday. Very exciting draw. I think it was almost the perfect draw for the neutral,
Yeah,
wasn't
you
it?
were buzzing with this draw, weren't you?
Yeah, because all of the classically massive sides have come out on one side that you'd think are potential favourites, and then Napoli have a route to... Everybody's, like, the neutral's favourite Napoli have a route to the final here, and a very positive route. So we can have a look at who you think is going to win the Champions League. Theo, I love to see it.
You don't think it, but you love to see it.
I do. I agree. Napoli.
Yeah, the reason I'm going Napoli is right now they are currently the favourites to win it in my eyes because of the draw. They've been blessed. They're on one side with Benfica, who I absolutely respect. They play incredible free-flowing football. Do not write them off. And then both Milan clubs. And they've got all the other big teams on the other side. So their route to the final, they're in there. I watched Napoli this season. I went out there, see how they play at Diego Armando Stadium. It's incredible. The atmosphere getting behind them, the Napoli fans, and as well Kvara on the form that he's in. I mean, I can list the whole team. We all know Napoli are outstanding right now. I think they're like 16 points adrift, top of Serie A.
Yeah.
Spalletti, I think he's going to do the double.
That is a big positive for them, is they can almost switch focus entirely to the Champions League, because Scudetto's wrapped up. Let's have it absolutely right. Osimhen can focus all of his fitness-wise on the Champions League. Kvaradona all on the Champions League, but you're still not thinking...
Look, I'd love to see it. That would be my heart, but my head says that the best side from the left-hand side of the draw will be the heavy favourite in the final and will likely win. Napoli have never played a Champions League European Cup a quarter-final, let alone a semi-final, let alone a final.
But everyone says in Italy, this is what people say. Every year, Napoli, they start the first half of the season of Serie A saying they go first and they bottle it. This year, they're breaking records. They're keeping up their record in the Serie A, and I think they're going to do the same in the Champions League. No one can stop them. They're so on form.
I agree. But if you look at their depth options, I've been watching Bayern a couple of times in the last couple of weeks. They're bringing Sane, Gnabry, Mane off the bench. It is just an incredible array of talent. They ease past PSG with ease.
OK, but the problem with Bayern is, beat Chelsea and Real Madrid. Go ahead, and then you'll meet Napoli.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I think if they get through the Man City tie, I think they'll be in the final.
We've got to talk about that as well, because they've drawn Man City. Man City never won the Champions League. Obviously, every season, a lot of people put Man City as one of the favourites. But for you,
I'd have loved to see that as the final, to be totally honest.
Yeah.
I think they are probably the two best teams in the competition at the moment, at least in terms of their European form.
eligible as well, which is a
I
huge
know,
story,
which will be interesting. But, I mean, Nagelsmann has been dropping him in and out the side. It depends whether they play a 3 or a 4. But I just think Bayern they know Haaland, for one. He doesn't have a particularly good record against Bayern Munich either. No. And I just think that bench of Bayern's going to see them through these ties.
But Haaland just put 5 past another Bundesliga opposition.
And you know what's going to happen after we said all of this? Real Madrid again.
Number 15.
Love that. They do every year.
It's never bet against Real Madrid.
Just Real Madrid.
Anyway, next up, fifth and final prediction is the Premier League Player of the Season. So let's have a look at who you've gone for. Haaland for both of you. Dougie, was that an easy one for you with other names in there?
Yeah, I've kind of been thinking about it a lot over the last month or so because I think this is when the nominations go in. And look, if Arsenal win the league, which we're both predicting, it'd be lovely if Odegaard or Saka won it, but it's an individual award. Haaland is probably, almost definitely going to break the Premier League goal-scoring record. He might score 50 goals in all competitions. He's got at least 14 games left and he's on 39 at the moment. So in terms of an individual award, it's got to go to the best player of that season, and it's been Erling Haaland.
We don't know.
Remember, he's not going to be on the same level as the Kane and Salahs of this world. Roll the clip.
Will not live up to the expectation. I am so bored.
Why won't he?
Because he isn't the player that everybody thinks he is. Will he score goals? Yes. Will he
how many goals is a success?
We are
for
arguing the
Erling
same thing. I'll tell you what,
We're
Rory,
not.
He's going to be the Golden Boot winner. He's going to prove you wrong.
Okay, I will take that bet.
How many goals is he going to score this season?
I think he'll do really well to score. If he scores 15, it would be a really good season for him.
Okay.
That's it. I'm
Theo,
done.
how many
15 goals.
How many do you think he's going to
Oh my God. I like the fact we're showing that, just in case people hadn't seen that clip
That
yet.
is like the modern day Alan Hansen, you'll win nothing with kids.
Yeah. Because that has gone viral every week, and it did this week because Haaland scored 5, of course. And you like to remind Rory of that clip, don't you? Just a reminder, that was pre-season predictions, and your face was a picture.
Once or twice, yeah. That's a memorable episode. It's popped up a few times on my feed since then, shall we say? Yeah, just a few. I think I could say anything in the world. Anyone could. But that clip will go more viral than that. I think that's the most viral clip ever. This season.
In football, this season, it's absolutely astronomical.
Rory likes to remind Thogden of some of his predictions as well.
It does. I think we have a bit of a beef going. He's dropped a few videos on me. You know, it's a bit of YouTube beef.
It's well worth it. But you're also saying, Haaland, so how many goals do you think he's going to end up on? He's on 39 as we speak today.
Let's go
28
50
goals in the Prem now. Yeah.
28. You've got 11 games left. Ooh, let's give him 35.
35 and 50 in all comps?
Yeah, in all comps, 50, yeah.
Dukes?
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. Maybe 51, 52. I mean, he's got the bit between
Edging
his
me
teeth
there.
now. Yeah.
I'm right in saying no one's won the Premier League Golden Boot in their debut season. No foreign players won it in their debut season as well. So for him to be that clear of second place, and Harry Kane's second place, he's having a great season as well.
50
I mean,
plus
it's incredible amount of goals that we're talking about.
Unheard of.
Incredible amount of goals.
Yeah, 50 plus goals and still doesn't win
I
the
saw
league.
the other day, in terms of his scoring graph, he is way ahead of Messi and Ronaldo at the same age as well. He's going to break all sorts of records.
Yeah.
If he stays fit.